good evening, all of you. This is not a pep video so much. It's a Saturday Night Live. And when we do a Saturday night or a Sunday night, you know, it's just a vibe, it's a jam, it's a session. We all talking. What I would love is, you see how the foreigners, when they come on, they tell us where they're from. And hey, big shout out to Toronto. All you working, all you working. I see all you meeting again today. Big shout out to Ali G in New York. I see she was entertaining. She had people over. Big shout out to Carla Jean, Abigail, John Paul in Florida. Big shout out to all the international peppers. That song that I just played was Silence by Sarah McLachlan. That's the Delirium mix. I love that song. Heaven holds a sense of wonder, and I wanted to believe that I'd get caught up when the rage in me subsides. In this white wave, I am sinking in this silence. In this white wave, in this silence, I believe. And in case y'all think that the only song I know is Calypso, and then some guy named on the YouTube, we're not on the YouTube channel because I don't have to be controlling all those buttons tonight. So I guess Maya will run this for the YouTube people later when it's done. If Facebook don't delete it. Once you play a song that's international and we don't have the copyrights for, sometimes Facebook deletes the video. But these videos is just a lime and a vibe. As I say, it don't have an archive and we don't have it forever. Thank you, Arlene. Thank you very much for that very sexy compliment. Don't let your husband see it. He's twice my size. Somebody just asked if I saw Julia Davies' video. I don't watch people like that. I don't follow them. I don't like Bacchanal and all noise, you know. So if you're waiting for me to go and find and listen and follow and take on people like that, you're going to waste your time waiting. Tonight I shared something. Don't ever be afraid to shine. Remember, the sun doesn't give up if it blinds you. That's the truth. You are like everyone else. Somebody said, Tito Lawn said it was a dark song. You are like everyone else marching to a grave. Every single day, all of us, we're marching step by step to a grave. You're distracted. Steve Jobs, before he died, Steve Jobs said to the world, he said, if I could tell you one thing, don't be held down by other people's dogma. Don't be held down by other people's beliefs. Forget that. Ignore that. That's what Steve Jobs, arguably, Steve Jobs is to the world, I think, comparable with Gutenberg. Because Gutenberg changed the world with the printing press. Before the printing press, education was limited to those who could afford a book. And a book was handwritten. Monks and monasteries, that was the main function of monks in monasteries, to write out the Bible by hand. They used to do that whole day. Just sit down and write out Bibles by hand. And when Gutenberg invented the printing press, he changed the world. He made information available to the masses, that version of the masses then. And Steve Jobs and Apple and his vision to put, I mean, there have been a lot of people who've had a vision, and a lot of people who wanted to make a printing press, and a lot of people who wanted to make a light bulb before this guy, oh my God, name just slipped out my head, who had the most patents of anybody. He invented the movie theater too, the phonograph, you know what I'm talking about. But Steve Jobs, and he said, don't be bound by anybody else's worldview. Don't take it on. This week here, Stephen Hawking died. Stephen Hawking had one of the most powerful minds in the world, in history, for the assimilation of knowledge, and it is his thinking that got us to see past the boundaries. I mean, everybody, there have been some big men all through man's development. Galileo, Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, that have taken us leaps and bounds. I've heard that Stephen Hawking was born on the day that Galileo died, and died on the day that Albert Einstein was born. Thomas Edison, thank you, Alan Ramdas. But, and I guess the point I want to make to you is, to hell with everybody. To hell with everybody. You ever watch how, if you let little children dress themselves, how they dress? You ever watch out little children, if you let them dress themselves, how they dress? Little girls, little boys. That is their expression of their individuality. And we've taken that from ourselves and from each other. You know what? You know what? It's time to reawaken that warrior spirit, that discoverer spirit that we have. We born into a world. We born into a world with love for ourselves. We born loving ourselves. In the Tao Te Ching, the Book of Five Rings, which is older than most religious books, in the Tao Te Ching, they say only man is so insane as to be able to think of something or someone outside of himself as more beautiful than him. To the skunk, he is not only the most beautiful skunk, he is the most beautiful animal in the forest. Only man could look at another man and say, that man better looking than me. Only a human woman could think that another woman better looking than her, to the point where she has to mimic that other woman. She had to look like her, dress like her, cut her hair like her. When Friends was a phenomenon, Jennifer Aniston hairstyle took the world by storm, and every woman wanted that same haircut. Everybody wanted to look like, dress like Madonna. When people find their individuality and you copy their individuality, you miss the point. You miss the point. But I don't know how else to say this. I am 51. And I do not want to waste any more of my life. I want to make my own decisions. Today at the PEP meeting, a guy was there who was trying to convince me that I mightn't be the best person to lead the party. Now, I agree with him 100% because I am not a politician. So I agree with him there. Where I disagree with him is, if you bring somebody else to lead the PEP, and I lead the PEP, and I go somewhere else, will the people who came to the PEP because of me and these videos stay in the PEP, and will I have to form a new organization? And I'm asking that, not that I want to, or not that I would work against the PEP, because we done a lot of work there. But it seems that there's a narrative trying to be sold that Philip can't lead the PEP. And I came home thinking about that because I'm asking myself, am I doing the party wrong? Can I find somebody more palatable than me? And then, so I'm talking to someone and she says, Christ, Martin Luther King, Gandhi. None of them could have won an election. Christ, they chose Barabbas over. And I'm not in no way comparing myself to those men. I'm just thinking out loud that I know that the PNM and the UNC scared to death of me. And rightly so. I know the PNM and the UNC are scared to freaking death of me, and rightly so. And more importantly, the oligarchs, the people who plunder the country with impunity through the PNM and the UNC, they scared to death of me. And they're planning for, in case there's a PEP victory, how to take it down. And you had to know that. Because these people want to protect their gravy trade. These people want to protect their gravy trade. And come hell or high water, I have a responsibility to see this through. So I want to say this, because 3/4 of the population rejected Keith Rowley. 3/4 of the population rejected Kamala. Neither of them are overwhelmingly popular, because 3/4 of the electorate rejected each of them and both. And the speed the PEP is growing at, for all the talk, people want to talk to me about me because I'm brash, and I speak my mind. I don't dress to impress, and I don't... Somebody told me today, you should speak at a higher level to impress the people higher up. I said, but is the people lower down I speaking for? Is them I trying to give a voice to? The people higher up have real voices. Every political party talking for the middle class and the upper class. Is only me talking for the people on the ground. For all the race talk that certain talking heads want to make me out to be a racist, It's only me. People tell you somebody came to me today. If I said the name of a place, Sanganga, in Diego Martin. There are people who live Diego Martin their whole life, have no idea what Sanganga is, you know. They just go to church in St. Finbar's Church and park in Sanganga and don't know they're in Sanganga when they park in. And as I tell Trinidad about Sanganga, I talk about Diego Martin West and every party place. And when people tell me, the people of Morvant and Beetham, my man called me from Morvant, fellow was at the meeting today from Laventille West, and he tell me, it's only you that say Morvant, Beetham, Laventille, Sealots. The people at Diego Martin, Cocorite, who's talk about Cocorite and Waterhole? Who's talk about Never Dirty and Gonzales and Harding Place? Who? Which politician? Who? It's only when somebody get gunned down or somebody get killed. So I had to tell the guy today, you know, I said, I have no interest in changing me for anybody. If you can't or you don't support the ideals and the philosophies and the policies we stand for or I stand for, you're well within your right to choose somebody else. I asked him, is there any single politician around today that you hold in high esteem? He said, not one. I said, well, you have a problem because you have to go and form a party. Because you can't just tell us about everything that's wrong and have no idea about how to put it right. And that's why we created a PEP. I could do this video every night. Just this. Just this video. Just these policies would have been enough to change the country. The country is changing. We've changed the narrative. We forced them into a conversation. We forced the PNM and the UNC to deal with issues that they never were going to deal with. You, before the PEP was formed, go back. The PEP was formed January 17, 2017. Go back 1 quarter. Just go back 3 months before and watch the politics, watch the conversations, watch what the media was broadcasting. Roti politics. Who spent more money for roti than who? The president wife belly. The president buying bottle of champagne and putting his own label. All kind of bullshit. Nobody was talking policies. Nobody was talking ideas, programs, how to elevate the country. Nobody was dealing with issues. Right now they're burning up the media and they're trying to find a way to do it. So when you come to tell me, brother, about how electable I might be, I am heartened to hear Martin Luther King at his Million Man March, when he put 1 million men on the mall in Washington. He said, this speech that I'm giving you now, I gave 4 years standing on a soapbox on idle corners for 1 and 2 people. So I know it's a journey. I know it's a process. I am heartened. Tonight I come home and I see Shari Wilson, our head of mobilization, posing with her pep cup and saying pep all in my soul, and it gave me goosebumps. To watch her, to know how hard she works, to see her say that, because people don't stand for things and put themselves on the line just so. And for Shari, I will continue this process to the end because she stood up. And for Satish, who organized the cups, I had no part to play in the cup. When I saw the cup, I said, look, boy, this is a real party. This is an organization. Today we had a meeting in the party. I don't want to talk so much politics, Christ look marriage. Today we had a meeting and all of it was about organizing the structure of the party. And the party already has so much structure. It already has so many good key people in good key roles. We had meetings today that when I see that the things that are happening, you know, our t-shirt supplier, he came to the meeting, they organizing. PEP merchandise is so hot right now. PEP cups, PEP mouse pads, PEP caps, PEP t-shirts, all our sayings, miss me with that bullshit, 1 people under 1 flag. All of those things, stick a pin in it. Those things so hot, they fly off so fast that we are organizing right now. People, different stores, north, east, central, south, Tobago. And if you have a store in any area and you want to sell PEP merchandise, because PEP merchandise moves apparently, and we'll be selling PEP merchandise internationally through New York and Florida and Toronto. And look at that, just look at that. Who you know buying a UNC t-shirt? We can't print PEP t-shirts fast enough. We can't give them away because we don't have deep pocket finances. So we get them sponsored and we sell them for the profit, and that's what finances the party. UNC and PNN gives away their shirts by the thousands. And people is end up seeing vagrants and people washing their car with it. And a PEP t-shirt is worn with pride. With pride. So if you're not seeing that, I know what to tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 99, wear sunscreen.
You all know this?
If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience.
Listen to this.
I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they've faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubble gum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind, the kind that blindsides you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of calcium. Be kind to your knees. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that friends come and go, but with a precious few, you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people you knew when you were young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you soft. Travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise, politicians will philander, you too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund, maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse. But you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen.
That's brilliant advice, eh? And they have a lot, all through history, they have a lot of people who have been given advice. And I realize that what we have now is we have so much foolishness in the newsfeed that when every now and then somebody posts or shares something that is mind-opening, mind-awakening, critical thinking, logical, it gets me so excited because I think to myself, it's not lost. All is not lost. All is not lost. That there are people who still see that there is something more to this life than gathering and consuming and fitting in. You don't fit in with nobody. And I am surprised, honestly, that a political party came out of the PP. I'm surprised because I talk so plain. Other people jump in the live video thing, try and do what I do for a while. They talking plain. I hear politicians talking like me now. And that's cool. Well done. Come right down to the people's level. I want you to hear this. This was supposed to be a message from a father to his son. The story that I heard, and you might have heard other stories, is by Rudyard Kipling. It's called If. And apparently a father sent this as a letter to his son because he never met his son, or for some reason he wasn't going to. So he sent this. But I want you to hear so it's called If. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you could trust yourself when all men doubt you and make allowances for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired of waiting, or being lied about and don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you could dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you could meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them back with worn out tools, if you could make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at the beginning and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings and not lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And more importantly, you'll be a man, my son. And when I'm reading that and I'm thinking, I live that every day. That I live. And that second paragraph, if you can wait and not be tired of waiting, being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and don't look too good or talk too wise. If you could dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you could bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. That's what was done to me on Synergy TV. If you could bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you've given your life to broken, stoop and build them up with worn out tools. Rudyard Kipling, If. I'll put it in the thread for any of you who've never heard of that before. That's seed knowledge. There are things I tell people you must get and you must read. There's a book called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. You should get that. Men and women. In those days, they used to say everybody's as a man. Men and women should get that and read that. The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. Everybody should read that. There's another one that I live by. It's called Desiderata. Go placidly amid the noise and haste and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible without surrender. Be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly. Still working on that. And listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Again, still working on that. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially, do not fake affection. Neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly to the counsel of years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. Some people will tell you that that is author unknown, and others will tell you that it was written by a German philosopher named Max Ehrmann. I don't know which is true. I put that in the thread too, so you could share that. You can have that. Give it to people. I know there's a song called Desiderata, but reading is the best way to commit something to memory. Because you could sing a song and know the words and not understand what you're singing. Last week we jammed, this week we serenaded. Kamal. No, it depends on the mood now. It depends on how you're feeling and what you're dealing with. And we have to deal with all of these things. I tell you, last night Gavin Bernard Franco told me thanks for the shout out and the response. He is right me every single day. There's so much work to be done if TNT is to be saved. If they are left to their own devices, they will surely die. The task ahead is arduous, but each challenge is to prepare you for what has to be done. Stay strong, P. On the same day that a man tell me what might be best for the party is if I let somebody else lead it. I ask him who? Who will stand up against the banks? Who will stand up against the oligarchy? Who will stand up against the drug barons? Who will stand up to Kamala and Keith and the bullshit of the PNM and UNC? Who? Which other politician has ever done what I do? Who? And I'm not looking for, trust me, I'm not looking for props, pips, likes, shares. I could turn off this Facebook thing tonight. I could walk away from this tonight. So if you feel this is an ego thing, I have no ego in this. In fact, sometimes, and I thank, and you should, if you want this PP party, thank as well the people who tell me on a daily basis, hold on, brother, hold on. There are days that I think that this ain't worth it. I see people that I know how bad this country is, and they have no interest in lifting a finger to help themselves or anybody else. No interest whatsoever. Arisha Khan, again, no, I do not follow Juliet Davy. I have no interest in watching Juliet Davy's live. Please stop asking me that. Thanks. I have no interest in that foolishness. Juliet Davy, like Corn Beef Man, and like the rest of these for sale talkers, they should have no purpose. You shouldn't be asking people about those things and sharing those things. Those things don't matter to nobody. They don't help the national conversation. The whole name of the game for all these people is to assassinate characters, because, hear me, the PNM and the UNC want me to shut up. They need me to shut up. They need me to stop speaking. However they could make that happen. That's all they want. Silence Philip. Shut him up. Sue him. Defame him. Smear his character. Threaten his life. Victimize him. Frighten him. Go inside his party and tell them, find somebody else to lead the party but Philip. All this kind of bullshit. PNM and the UNC need to shut me up. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want all they want. Silence Philip. Because with a silent Philip, the PNM and the UNC will continue to fight for your vote. But the people behind the PNM and the UNC will be able to finance two corrupt parties, knowing that they will be able to put money in those two parties, and regardless of which one wins, they're still going to clean up. They're still going to make all the money. That's who want me shut up. True talk. And you, likewise, they don't want to hear you talk. They don't want you awake. They don't want you speaking up. They don't want you wanting a better country. I want to find something. But you know that? And you know that? That's where we are as a nation. In a country where nothing works. What got you distracted tonight, Philip? No, this is not really a show I wanted to be doing tonight. I just thought I'd address this issue because I don't mind people having an opinion, but your opinion must be based on substance and fact. Philip Edward Alexander doesn't have to be Prime Minister of the country. Philip Edward Alexander doesn't have to be a political leader of a party. Philip Edward Alexander doesn't need those things. I make myself available to serve. If you want somebody else, you follow who you want. You follow that person. You find the person that you think is speaking to what you think, and you help that person get into government. Don't just sit on the sideline and be a cheerleader. But don't come and stand up and talk and give us lyrics, and you yourself not prepared to dig deep and do what is required.
Progress is impossible without change. And those who can't change their minds can't change anything. You can't change what's going on around you until you start changing what's going on within you. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. In the words of George Bernard Shaw, your tango, Mahatma Gandhi.
If you can look as far as I see, within this great land we call TNT, there's birds and bees, rivers and seas, pretty woman bringing man to their knees. Treasures of this blessed land we always neglect like ISO and pan. I find it so strange the way we arrange. Still this nation don't know how to change. To some change it might just mean a new car. Change could mean less than $1. To most change have this nice scent we usually get from the government. You see, change is something we always say, but every time we change things remain the same way. Things keep getting worse and worse, so this is what I propose. Let's change the change for a better nation. Change the change for all foundations. Change the change so that we could say that this nation here came from quite down there. I say change the change within the school systems. Stop changing ministers and change what we teach them. Cause things won't change despite all we do if change doesn't start with you.
That's the truth. Change starts with us. Change starts with me. Change starts with you. And if we don't change the national conversation, we're stuck. We'll be stuck. We will be stuck. If we don't find a way beyond the madness, we're stuck.
He came from Calcutta, a stick and a bag on his shoulder. He took banana capra. So I am vaccine of India. India. The Indians can ship on this slavery, bind together to rest in unity. There was no more mother Africa, no more mother India, just mother Trinity. Planted sugar cane, down in the Caroni plain, Ram Logan Bandem Bakashanai, Jahaji Pai,
Brotherhood of the boat.
Jahaji Pai, Brotherhood of the boat, Jahaji Pai.
All of us, Brotherhood of the boat. All of us, regardless of where you come from. Nobody came to Trinidad under happy circumstances. All of the history of Trinidad and Tobago is people fighting to gouge out a reality. Fighting to gouge out. Listen, country has been a fight from the start. People say are looking preoccupied or distracted. Today, Saturdays are becoming harder and harder. Saturday is becoming the hardest day in my week. We get into that office at 10:30. Today I didn't leave till after 4. That is 6 hours. 6 hours of meeting. 6 hours of non-stop, no breaks, no. They had 4 meetings going on. I was in 3 in different rooms. It is draining, you know. And to hear this guy come and talk because he's so convicted that he feels that, and I don't want to be the person that keeps back my own party. I want the PEP and the policies that the PEP propose to get into government. Tonight I'm talking to Shiva Verma she's the head of the, talking on the phone, she's the head of the animal rights, because she's calling me to go and rescue a dog tomorrow, Sunday. And I'm telling her, let's get the Animal Bill of Rights document done. Let's get it out in the public space, give it to the people and get the people to force this government to make it law now. It doesn't have to be PEP. We don't need to say we do it. Let's just get it done. Animal rights, an animal rights bill. Let's get that. Get that out there that animals, domestic, farm, even wild animals, no abuse. And for the domestic and the farm, no neglect. We could do all of those things, but to hear him talk and I have to ask myself, what is the best step? I am a very strong man, but I am also conflicted. I am conflicted because I don't want the job, and I tell you that. And again, I ain't joking. And I'm interested in the job. I think of myself. If I could think of myself as Prime Minister, I'm not happy with that thought. That doesn't excite me. It doesn't make me happy. In Trinidad and Tobago, that is not a nice position. And it's not a nice job. And it's not something to aspire to. It's something to tolerate. And it's not like these two, Kamala and Keith, they're in a different path. They're just there to represent their people and get their crap done. But to come into this country and try to come into office in this country and try to fix this is such a daunting task. You are literally trying to educate people beyond their capacity to understand. The guy from Sanganga came to tell me today in the meeting, he said that people who grow up generations after generations in filth and squalor don't know how to change, you know. You have to change them. You have to change them. Sema is not that, you know. Nobody can move me. I formed the party, but I could also, but I have to think, I have to listen to what people say, and I have to be guided by it. It affects me because I guess it affects everybody. Everybody wants to know. You come to a place and you see how hard we work. You know. Do a live video. Do one. Do one live video for 1 hour. Do it once. Do a live video about fixing Trinidad and Tobago. Do a live video about focusing on the problems and fixing the country. Do it and see what that takes out of you. And then look at the rest of your week and tell yourself that that's my week every day built around that. Tell yourself that and see how that, just what that takes out of you. And then have as your work day, your normal work day, your chairman, your vice chairman, and all of the team leaders reaching out to you all day to solve this and to solve that. And then the average person with their crisis. And then all of the normal madness that happens in Trinidad and Tobago that you have to keep your eye on and that you have to keep. I mean, I remember the day I had to put out a video when people was getting real antsy, and I had to put out a video and tell everybody just chill out. They're trying to force you all into all kind of thing to put yourself in trouble. They're trying to force you into all of those things. Listen, I never know, like you, what tomorrow holds for any of us. But I know that this journey, you don't have to tell me about how hard this journey and how long this journey will be. I know what I set out on. And I'm not a weak man, I say it again. I didn't set out on this to leave people behind or to abandon people along the way. I didn't. But I want to be able, you're not eating at me, that I couldn't convince him to see sense. And that's what's bothering me. So if you're asking what's bothering me, that's what's bothering me. I couldn't convince him to see past the conundrum of his own making, because he doesn't. And I wanted to tell him, I said, we call our internal elections, you know, and if I put my name up, let the people decide. Let the people choose. This is a party. Let the democracy work. But he can't think of anybody that he would support in politics. So ask him, well, why are you here? If you don't know anybody that you support, how do you expect to change the thing? He said he's going to run as an independent. Tell him, go, I did it in 2015. You lose. Should I not set up for that? You know how much work it is to form a political party. You know how much work and how much of my life the PEP takes every day, every week, every month. Do you know what it took out of me for the year and the 2 months that I am in this? No break, no time off. Every time I say I take a time off, it's last a day. Everybody, look at David Rudder. I play his music more every night. He migrated and gone. Tyrone Hernandez, our anthem, vote them out. He in Canada living. Look at everybody who's ever taken up this mantle. They either give up, they dare and leave it still like this. They're gone. It's not easy. It's not easy. And the ease with which he thinks, because I told him it's not a switch that you flip. Besides the PEP, there were a lot of other political parties. They have a lot of other political parties. Our room packed. We are the only political party that has a public meeting every single week. We are the only political party in this country's history that has a public meeting every single week. You know what that takes? We have a public political meeting every week, and we have an open door and we have an open floor. And that meeting is talk, ask your questions, challenge. Some meetings are very difficult. Some meetings drain you because people come without understanding what it takes to build something so democratic, so law-abiding, so beholding to the highest tenets of a society ruled by law. We fighting racism in a country where politics has institutionalized racism. We are fighting a narcotics trade that is so entrenched in Trinidad and Tobago. There was a commission of inquiry into the drug trade in the 80s that didn't make it to the parliament. This is a country where the drug trade bigger than the law. There was a commission of inquiry into the drug trade, and it never, the results never made it to the parliament. It never made it to the court. It died. How you could kill a commission of inquiry? That is power. That's this country. We fighting a country where criminal corruption is so entrenched. When you ask people and you say, forget the 56 years, there's a lot to think about. Think Panday Manning, Kamala Rowley, $1 trillion spent. Forget Panday. Manning, Kamala Rowley, $720 billion spent. On what? On what? If you're spending that kind of money, you should have a proper functioning education sector, a proper functioning healthcare sector. You should be able to feed your nation. You should have recycling and environmental issues managed. You should have a properly functional police service and court system, your parliament, the cities, the sidewalks, the national infrastructure, the national security. All of these things should work. But forget everything else. Manning, Kamala Rowley, $720 billion. Where is it? And we have billions of dollars in buildings and roads and highways that we are owing to the Chinese and the Brazilians now. So the money wasn't spent on that. Where's the money? Where's the money that Bastille Panday spent on that airport? Where is that money? Because that's not $1 billion. What they built in Piarco is not even $100 million. Where's that money? Where is it? But you can't ask those questions. We are fighting a nation where they have people who like Panday's grin. I like your grin. You can thief my money. Let my mommy go and lie down in piss mattress in the hospital. I don't mind you grin for me. We fighting people. I don't care what you say. I vote in Rowley. They're up to their waist and shit, but I don't care. I vote in Rowley. I vote in PNM. If they move Rowley and they put a snake in a Balize cape, I vote in that. And we fighting that. And he walk in that room to tell me that he think that I am the problem. How could I be the problem? All of a sudden the government finding out how to run a country, copying PEP policies. All of a sudden the opposition talking about plans. All of a sudden you're talking plans. All of a sudden you're talking pet policies and incorporating it into your conversation. All of a sudden. And when you look around, our telecommunication infrastructure doesn't work. You know that? Our media is hijacked and corrupted. So we don't get real news. And we're not represented in the news. That broken. Our telecommunications authority that's supposed to oversee that, corrupted, politicized, broken. That'll work. You can't name something. If you need to go tomorrow, if somebody hold you up and take your wallet, your first hours lost in the police station making that report, and your second day lost in the licensing office. When you go to the licensing office and you tell them you need to get a copy of your permit, they give you a big station diary. You ever see a station diary? Big like a desk. And they tell you, find the day you got your permit. Tens of thousands of entries in that book. And you have to stand up and go through that book and find the day yours was given, so they could copy that. That's this country. You go to court in Trinidad and they write everything down by hand. That's this country. We fighting that. We fighting a banking sector that has convinced the government to hands off them. Don't regulate them. Let them do what they want. We fighting that. 4 banks that making $4 billion in profit every year. Not on credit, not on interest, on fees. On fees. That's what we're fighting. We're fighting that. And I asked him, I have never heard another political party or another political leader ask why we don't have regulated finances. Why an insurance company could fold up and go out of business and not pay you your claim. If you paid dutifully for years, and the moment the contract, the other side of the contract is if in a crisis or an emergency and you have to make a claim, they have to pay you. They could wrap up. They could shut down. How could we live in a country where the insurance companies like CLICO collapsed to the point that it cost the nation $25 billion and nothing put in place to protect us from Sagicor and Guardian Life doing the same? What happens tomorrow if Sagicor collapses or Guardian Life collapses or Republic Bank? What is in place? Nothing. And nobody in the country is having a conversation. But he doesn't know, in all of his passion for wanting to fix me, he doesn't understand that the $25 billion that was spent bailing out CLICO could have built 200,000 houses, 200 schools, 100 hospitals, 100 police stations, 100 fire stations. It could have bought us 500 ambulances and still have $15 billion left. It could have built a bridge to Tobago and a bridge to Venezuela. That is what we spent on CLICO. What happens if Sagicor collapses on Guardian Life? And we're not having that conversation. And the parliament not having that conversation. We're operating by oops. So all of Dupre's friends that he put in the UNC and the PNM, because the UNC and the PNM agreed to rob the country $25 billion. That's what happened. And anytime they talk about it, it's somebody inside one of them parties trying to thief something. If you do an audit of all the sales at One Woodbrook Place, people would need to make a jail. Government ministers would have had to go to jail because they sold them One Woodbrook Place apartment properties owned by the people of Trinidad and Tobago under market price so they could flip it and make a profit. When the bailout took place, they had people who went into CLICO and cash certificates of deposit that didn't exist. That they and the man who handed them the money, both of them collude. I tell you I have $10 million. You give me my $10 million. I'll meet you later and give you your $5 million. And there was nothing put in place to protect the people. Look at the people who own Tamnak Thai and Apsara. They're partners in National Insurance Board. Took $41 million of money that is deducted chirrup from poor people. $6.25 at a time, $9.50, $200 deducted from hard-working poor people to make a national insurance fund. Take up that money and give it to Tamnak Thai and Apsara to finance a discotheque Siam. And we're not talking about that. It is only until I and the Progressive Empowerment Party brought in the public space 11 years after it happened, it started to make the media. So I want to know, If not me, who? If not me. Because I will stand down. God is my witness. I will stand down today. Who is standing up? If I stand down, who is standing up? Who is going to do it? Who is going to say that the special purpose companies that Patrick Manning created were created to steal money? That's what they were created for. To end run the constitutional tenders process. He created a hole, a backdoor in the treasury. If not me, who? Who is going to talk about that? Who is telling you that it doesn't take 15 years to clean up the police service, it'll take 6 months? Who else is telling you that the 65,000-man New York City Police Department is cleaned and kept clean by an internal affairs unit that will gladly come and clean up our 5,000-man police service? In 6 months, you know all those who doing what? Suspend them, remove them from the service, begin to prosecute them and get a better functioning Trinidad and Tobago police service. If not me, who? Because I will stand down tonight. Who is standing up? Kamala? You ever hear Kamala talk about these things? Not one of these things. Not one of the functional issues. Kamala used the health, the status of the healthcare sector to take a building that Manning built at Chancery Lane, a financial building, and convert it to a teaching hospital that ain't teach nobody yet. Cost as much money to convert as it costs to build. Friends and family get rich. Rich overnight. Spend $1 billion in a Chinese loan to build a Coover Children's Hospital. Call it Children's Hospital to play with your heart. To make you say, well, it's for children. But you build a hospital at 10 times the cost. Who is going to stand up for these things? Kamala? Who's going to stand up? Keith Rowley? The Keith Rowley who went into the parliament and told the nation that Patrick Manning was thieving money through Unicott with Kola to build Aruba. And the same Keith Rowley, when we elected Prime Minister, finished Aruba, spent the next $200 million for friends and financiers to pressure wash it. If I'm not standing up, who is? Who will? Who do you think, if put in office, will bring these offenders to justice? Who? Because I have to ask these questions because, again, this takes a lot. This is a sacrifice of immense proportions. This could take all of this time out of my life that I could be spending on my personal affairs with my family and having a private life, spending it as an open book. I have to live like an open book. People get to talk about me. I drive down the road in my Nissan Navara and people talking that I buy a new Benz. All this kind of madness I have to live with. And I could easily stand down, have a normal life, go my way like everybody else and like myself. But who will stand up? Who will stand up? Who? Who? I ask him, close your eyes. Picture the political climate in Trinidad and Tobago without my voice. Picture it. Picture Trinidad and Tobago, a nation that gets consumed by how much leave the Chief Justice entitled to. They want to fire the man, but they want to argue about how much leave he should get. I want to give him 5 years leave. Boy, go. Get on a plane and go. Because while you're gone, we'll investigate you. We don't need you here to investigate you. But it's games. So the Guardian and the Express, Sabga News Network and Massy Media could fool you and tell you that this is what is important. And while they're telling you that is what is important, trillions of dollars more are being stolen by people who are in cahoots with the people in Sabga News Network and Massy Media. Journalists living with government ministers. Journalists, plural. Government ministers, plural. And it's not a PNM thing. Because these same journalists sleeping with UNC ministers when UNC ministers in office. So if not me, who? Who? We have to have a conversation about building a maritime security wall and closing the nation's borders. It is the only way to end the drug trade. Who else is talking about that? The Prime Minister says the only solution is close the borders. The Minister of National Security said the only solution is close the borders. Every Minister of National Security who's ever been here knows the only solution is close the borders. Why haven't we closed the borders yet? Is it that they're incompetent? Is it that they don't know how to close the borders? Or is it that people who have a vested interest in open borders are really running this country? And if not me standing up and speaking out about this, who? When I told the nation that we have to unstuff the containers on the port because that is where the guns and the drugs coming in, it forced the Prime Minister to admit 40%, almost half of the containers that come into Trinidad come straight off the ship and go to businessmen's businesses without being examined. We've had a situation where a container was opened in a car showroom and drugs fall out on the ground. This is a country that had a private hospital, surgeon open a drug mule, take out the cocaine, sew back up the mule, send the mule and the cocaine on their way. Who else is asking these questions? Who? We jail a set of little boys from up in John Street, Cocorite, for driving a pirogue with $600 million worth of cocaine down on Monas. But the importer, the exporter, the buyer, the seller, the user, the island owner, nobody else in trouble. Just them little fisher boys from John Street, who if you take all 8 or 9 of them and sell them, you can't get $100,000. But we jailed them for $600 million worth of coke. And tonight, I'm telling you, you can't tell me where that $600 million worth of cocaine is tonight. That the state sees. Where that is. This is a nation where inside a police station, a ceiling collapse and guns and drugs fall. And we don't know how. And we don't know who. And we don't know what happened to the guns, the drugs, and the police. And if I'm not asking these questions, who will? Close your eyes and picture this country 2 weeks from now, a month from now, I go silent. Picture the national conversation again, a month from now. Picture your news feed when this fades. When the only thing that happened on social media is UNC and PNM trading memes with fake pages like Buzz Alert and Kick Out the PNM, distracting you with bullshit. Picture the national conversation without me asking these questions. Imagine it. It is I who told the nation that it is possible to put a clock on court matters. 3 years for civil matters, 5 years for criminal matters, and if the judge cannot complete the matter within 3 years for civil and 5 years for criminal, fire the judge. The judge is incompetent. One of our members, her sister, was raped inside a police station. One of our senior PEP members, her sister was raped inside of a police station by the ranking police officer, and that matter took 17 years to work its way through the courts. So I come tonight thinking to myself, look, it's already a hard-ass fight to do what I do. I shouldn't have to fight for the right to do what I do. And I shouldn't have to fight for the right to defend myself. Because all of those people that benefited from all of that bacchanal, because he say that he have people who tell him they can't vote for me. And of course not, criminals not supporting me, brother. And the social circles you moving in, all your friends is criminal. We live in a country where it is illegal to own a casino. It is illegal to own a casino. We have no legislation that makes it lawful, but we come round it and backwards, and we have more casino than anybody else right now. This country. And we create something called the Financial Intelligence Unit, but it have no way of controlling what goes on in those casinos. So we don't know what kind of money coming in and going out. Porous pipelines. So I don't know. Thinking to myself, it could be frustrating. I'm a human being. I put everything on the table for this. I don't hold back. I am the most public of people. When I go on radio, when I go on TV, you want to take calls? Take calls. Let them call. Not stunting bullshit, of course, but let the people call, because I could deal with that. No other politician dealing with that. No other politician dealing with that. So, at some point, common sense will prevail, either with the people of Trinidad and Tobago who realize that this is a real hope, a real chance to rescue this country, or common sense will prevail with me and the members of the PEP. Because I said last night, I said, when you think of your Saturday and all the things that you would rather do on a Saturday, every one of those members that come to that office 10:30, Debbie Lee Jaikaran, she just says she coming from the bush. She's have to drive for 2 hours on a Saturday to come. And heaven help her if somebody sneezes on the highway. So she leaving her home 8 o'clock in the morning to come for 10:30 meeting. And if she think that I don't know and I don't see her commitment, she wrong. Because I know Anne-Marie Dulal, how far she coming from Chaguanas. But still, when you think about your Saturday and what you could do, what you could do with your Saturday, what you could do with your family today, Saturday, the PEP, our treasurer came today with her little children and their toys to play in a political office. She could be home with her family. She working hard whole week. And I look at them and I think of the sacrifice that they making. The chairman, the deputy chairman. I look at our team overseas. And I said today, these people escape the madness of Trinidad. They're in first world nations. They could be enjoying the benefits of living in a first world nation. Delworth and Ali G and the rest of the crew, Kenneth. And instead of enjoying the benefits of a first world nation, them working harder than everybody. Maya and Kenneth on that on a link up with us 6 hours today. So them sit down at a desk to be in a meeting, to listen to us talk. So it's because of them I can't make this decision on my own. Left to me right now, I don't know. I don't know. I had to tell you. I have to explain to this nation healthcare, education, home ownership, court system, police service. Forget everything else. Explain those things. Explain it. Those 5 things I just told you about have cost us $300 billion. Explain that. Explain why all that money spent on our children I just saw a video of an entire school, Tranquility, walking down Frederick Street onto Park Street like a roving gang for a fight. And I watched the people from on top videotaping that. And the police service in this country don't know what to do with that, you know. Because we have no laws yet and they don't know how to deal with that. The Children's Authority that paying big money to the Syrian financier to rent a building have nothing else to do but spend money. That's their work. They don't do nothing else of value to anybody. And all the march we march for Children's Authority, somebody tell me please why we have one. Because the children of the nation in a crisis. And the Children's Authority and the Social Development Ministry and the Education Ministry not having public consultations. So I want to know who really running this country. Who running it? But if you don't have a child in school, not your concern. But they have 200,000. They have 100,000. It's 20,000 children. No, it's 200,000. 10 years of school. And 20,000 doing common entrance. I have a friend on WhatsApp named Dinesh Samtami. And when WhatsApp tells me you have a message from Dinesh Samtami, unless it is Eid, Diwali, or Christmas, or Easter, with Dinesh sending me greetings for Eid, Diwali, Christmas, Easter, or any of the holidays, any message from Dinesh Samtami sounds like this. Let me read the last day. Dinesh Samtami. 5 murders in the past 24 hours, including 2 bodies found this morning, Windy Hill, Aruka. They found this morning regarding shooting last night. Another shooting has just occurred at Akbar Ali Street, Malabar. A person named Dexter Keegan received several shots about the body and is currently lying on the road approximately 9 a.m. A Chinese grocery located at the corner of 9th Street and 9th Avenue in Barataria was just robbed by 4 armed men. They left the scene in a silver grey Lancer, last seen heading west on the Beetle. 2:30 p.m. Friday, 16 March 2018, bushfire in the vicinity of Monroe Road, flyover Uriah Butler Highway, reducing visibility on both northbound and southbound lanes. Proceeded caution. Murder, Ajoda Road, Canopia. Robbery just took place on El Socorro Road, Chinese roulette. Something going on in Felicity Shagwana. 7 police vehicles headed there. Unconfirmed reports if a shooting or murder. Shooting in Central. 1 person, Anderson Cambridge, also known as Gangamel, got shot in the hand and abdomen. Accident after Trinity Lights, Churchill Roosevelt Highway, causing standstill traffic. When Dinesh Samtami sends me a WhatsApp, and it's not Eid, Diwali, Christmas, Easter, or holiday, and I click, that's how I brace, and he's telling me, I ain't sending you the pictures unless you tell me send me the pictures. And that's Dinesh Samtami. He's getting news, hot off the press as media, and send it to me. I was one of the first people that got a picture of the little boy that they found in a box. The law of the country is you're not supposed to share pictures of children. So I did not share it, but the media did. Because the media don't follow the law. So everybody posts this little boy picture all over Facebook. As get all the murder, car accident, everything. How does it help us if we're not focusing on solutions? How does it help us? So anyway, I wanted to just line, but and I needed to come and just talk with you all a little bit because I don't mind getting out of the politics. Completely. I don't mind going back to a life where everybody that see me, that walk up to me, not walking up to me to tell me a problem. I don't mind that. I don't mind coming out of it completely. Because it's not an easy road to hoe. Don't let nobody fool you. This ain't fun, you know. I may look like I'm enjoying it, but it's sucking the life and the happiness out of me. This is not an easy road to hoe. And it is not an easy road to walk. Because we have no guarantee that we will be successful. The most we could do is stay focused, stay committed, and do this as a job. So when somebody come and tell me that the party could be better off without me, I'm ready to go one time. Because he watched me spend 6 hours of change of my Saturday in our office. So I want Jonathan Sergiu to know, I don't disagree with him, you know. I don't disagree with him. He made a good case. Why I should stand down. And at some point, if I believe that what I am doing cannot rescue this country, I will stop wasting my time. And I will meet Jonathan Sergiu for a beer and a lime on a random Friday night. Because I can't go out and lime on a Friday night. Because Saturday is pep meeting. And the members is telling me, you just say we're having no meeting, but next week Saturday we know you're having one, because the public, and that public meeting is the most important thing we do. I have a cut on my foot, so if you see me licking my finger, I'm trying to stop the blood from bleeding. And I want Jonathan, I want to give him his props, because it took Belly to stand up, and I'm not knocking him. But you had to think this through. Because when the dam was breaking in the Netherlands and the little boy went and stick his finger in the hole, he wasn't the best man for the job. Sometimes he's the only man for the job. I have no delusions of grandeur. I make my little jokes and things. I know I'm bright and I know I'm pretty, but that is not enough. There have to be people in this country better suited for this job than me. And I wish they would stand up so I could stand down. Honestly. That show, A Few Good Men, with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, is one of the best shows I have ever seen in my life. I love a show where at the end of the show, that's why I enjoyed Black Panther, you know. I love a show when at the end of the show, I can't tell you who was the good guy and who was the bad guy. And I can't tell you who was right and who was wrong. Because when Jack Nicholson told Tom Cruise at the end of the show, all you did today was weaken a nation. You sleep under the blanket of the freedom I provide. And rather than take down your Marines, take up a watch. Stand on a wall. Stand on a wall and guard. Stand guard on a wall. In Black Panther, I didn't know who was the good guy and who was the bad guy, because the bad guy was fighting for something I would fight for. So I want to tell Jonathan Sergiu, friend or no friend, if you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, brother, and you think that there is a better way to do it, let's do it. Don't hold back. But don't ask me to stand down, and there's nobody to stand up. Don't do that. You're weakening this nation's last best hope. Trinidad and Tobago only has the PEP. That's all it has. Trinidad and Tobago only has the Progressive Empowerment Party. There are people in this country, north, south, east, west, that don't know the PEP exists. That today, people who don't know them, that they don't know, met for 6 hours to fight to make their lives better. To sacrifice time, energy, effort, to put themselves at risk to victimization, met today to stand up for people they will never know. And it is why all of the members of the Progressive Empowerment Party get the respect that they get from me. And I know they don't understand. But once you take up a role in that party, you are my family. And once you take that role seriously and you deliver it, you have my full and complete respect. The people that Limoy Chen and her daughter Gabby, Limoy has worked some ridiculous hours. For Limoy to come and spend her time today, she works ridiculous hours. When she leaves in the morning, her child is get ready for school and go. When you come home in the night, your child sleeping. Your Saturday, you bring your child to a political office, Limoy Chen, and spend the day. You think I could run out of ways to respect you? This is the truth. The rescue for this country, if it comes, It'll come through people like Lemoy and Debbie Lee and Shari and Satish. These people who could just as easily be living their lives. It will come from people who could just as easily today been home with their family. Good evening, Mr. Vernon de Lima, a man I have the greatest respect for. If you all do not know Vernon de Lima, after a life of fighting for this country, he and his wife were a victim of a home invasion. She never recovered. She never recovered. It's people like Vernon's wife. I do this still. Emmanuel Peter saying, Philip, the Westminster system does not work. As bad as it is, Emmanuel, it is still the best of the bad, because representation of the people, the reason these things don't work is that representation of the people requires the people to get involved. And the reason they don't work is that too many people are too lazy with their democracy. Too many people want other people to stand up and do the job. If the people of Trinidad and Tobago were like the people of Sweden and Norway and Holland, Netherlands, Switzerland, the countries that you don't hear about bad news from, why? They're the best. Finland, those are the best nations in the world. They're functional. Everything works. They are the opposite of Trinidad and Tobago. In those countries, Iceland, all of the people got together and fired the government for atrocities committed by the banks. They jailed the bankers. The people of Iceland don't take them things so. In Trinidad, those bankers would be in the Senate and the government. The opposite of those countries is Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing works here. Nothing. Emmanuel, I want to tell you, we could make Westminster work for us, but the people have to take their country serious. And the people have to stand up. We need, somebody said today, a fellow named Adio, who came from Laventille. And Adio said, why I come to your meetings and why I watch your videos is the fact that you give your policies away free. So that it's not just one Philip Alexander holding on to what he knows trying to get into office. And that you're trying to make hundreds of people, and that is a fact. That was always the plan. That the PEP said that a win for us is that we educate, inform, and empower the people. That we wake Trinidadians up to their responsibility in a democracy. That we bring to an end the nonsense of racist and tribal voting. That we become one people under one flag. That we enact legislation that holds the parliament responsible and accountable to the people. And that we take that parliament seriously. And that when government goes to enact a law like the anti-gang bill or the cybercrime bill that interferes with our essential civil rights and freedoms, that we go out there in our tens of thousands and tell them, that's not what we hire you for. I will never forget, I was so disenchanted with politics. I had left the COP when the COP joined up with the UNC to form the People's Partnership. And one morning on Fazir's show, the same Vernon de Lima looked into the camera and said, Madam Prime Minister, we didn't elect you to office for that. I went back and joined back the party. I said, Mr. de Lima, here. If we get the people of this country to stand up, Keita, you don't have to apologize. I know how hard you're working and you've been there last week and you was there this week doing a video. How is your granddaughter? I hope she's doing better. You say she's in the hospital. I hope all is well with her. I hope she's getting good treatment in the hospital. If you're having any difficulties with that, message me, please. Let me see what I can do to help. Mr. Anthony Sinanan, who was just here with us in Trinidad, back up in the cold. Brothers, nice to see you. Marissa Bash, who does her best to keep me honest on WhatsApp. Janice Lemon Creaky, who is our PRO, is in Tobago right now, cutting a road for us because we go in Tobago. And when the PEP touch down in Tobago, the whole place will shell down. I promise you that, because we're going to light it up. What the PNM has done to the people of Tobago. When we come in to bring you the good news of a better tomorrow. It is time to rescue the 56,000 brothers and sisters that languishing under the madness of this government. We're working right now. Kerry Andel Lynch, our PRO, is already on the ground in Tobago right now. And she and Kerry Grant, our sports advisor, youth advisor, they're there. They will make, when they come back, they put in things in place for us to move across as a team. So they're there now. Right now they're there. PEP is in Tobago now, making the way for the rest of us to come across. Chester Birchwood, one of our delegates, one of our caretakers for Tobago. We need, listen, I'm not apologizing for the party. The party is a massive organization compared to all the other political parties. We have real people involved in real positions building this party. We don't have sycophancy and we don't have racism to drive it. We have to appeal to common sense. Emmanuel, if you want to get involved, look for Shari Wilson on this thread and send her a message. Keita Chandler right below you, message Keita. Keita will tell you how to get involved. We cannot continue as a people to accept the change exchange, lesser evil voting. We cannot. We can no longer do that. The middle class people of Trinidad and Tobago, they see how frail, how tenuous their grasp on their rights to any representation in this country ever was. The middle class in trouble. The middle class in Trinidad and Tobago in trouble. And they don't know what to do. And I'm telling the middle class of Trinidad and Tobago, stand up with the Progressive Empowerment Party. Forget the old talk. Bring your expertise. Bring your knowledge. Bring any finance that you could scrape up. Help us get ready to challenge the madness of the PNM and the UNC. If we have any hope at all, it is one shot. We need to put everything on it. We need to put everything on it. The middle class, every business owner in this country, if you own from a pluck shop, go up. If you own from a barber shop, go up. Everybody in this country needs to stand together now. Stand up. Stand up. Never let this be about personalities. The PEP will never be a cult. If you were sitting in that meeting this morning, you will realize other political leaders, party founders, will gorge on their power and hold on to it. I have meetings where I give my power away. I said in the meeting today, my responsibility is policy, communications, evangelize and mobilize. The party belongs to the members. Yes, I was integral in the vision and the effort that formed it. But real democracy and love of country calls for people willing to sacrifice and lead by example and make that effort to say, this is how it is done. We've built this for you. Come and take it. Come and claim it. Come and use it for your betterment. The Progressive Empowerment Party is here and it is working. It is doing the job. We are building out. And if you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, if you want a better nation, if you want a functional nation where everybody who has a job could own a home and everybody who wants a job could get a job, where the cost of living and the cost of food is not outside of your grasp, if you want a better country where the police station protects and serves, if you want a country where the penal system redevelops the people who fall through the cracks, so when they send them back out, they're better than they came in. If you want a country where healthcare and education is not a joke and a punchline, if you want a country where government and parliament and senate and president and chief justice and DPP and commissioner of police answers to the people, if you want a country that regulates the financial sector, that ensures that the banks pays interest to depositors' funds and cancels all the madness of those fees, if you want that kind of country, a country where the government understands and the function and purpose of the government is the well-being of the citizenry, paint yourself orange, paint your house orange, paint your street orange, paint your neighborhood orange, stand together, one people under one flag, tear down the madness of the oligarchy-controlled PNM, UNC, tribal, racist, corrupt, mismanagement bullshit. Stand together as one people. Tell them collectively, miss us with this bullshit. Tell them we will keep calling you jackass and telling you what you're doing is bullshit till we change it. To the people who can't take talk but taking jam and action for 56 years, you're on the wrong side of the argument, partner. You're on the wrong side of the conversation. We could all dress ourselves up and talk like the Queen and the Marquis de Queensberry, but it ain't gonna help none of we. What we have to do is be willing to put feet on the ground. 10,000 of us outside the parliament. We need to march. The People's March for Freedom. The People's March for Freedom. That's what we need to have. We need 100,000 Trinidadians marching. We need the government to understand that the tail don't wag the dog. We need the parliament to understand that its function is to serve the people. And we cannot get that until we, the people, stand together and insist on that. So if you want that as a better country, if you want Trinidad and Tobago to function, you have to get yourself involved, because anything other than that is failing and failing and failing again. And this madness that has been our situation in Trinidad and Tobago, this non-functional, dysfunctional madness, this is what will continue. If you want a better nation for yourself and your family, stand together, one people under one flag.
Your vote will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be. Your vote can foretell our country's fate. Move and use it well before it's too late. If it is that who you're voting, fail beyond a doubt. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the proven to be only full amount, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time it's now that change should come about, just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. State your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again.
Abigail Sinanan, who heads up our Florida arm, her father, Mitra Sinanan, very good friend of mine, former police officer. Mitra Sinanan know me since I am 2-3 years old. Posted on Facebook, underwent surgical procedure at West Shore Medical today. Look at robbery by these wicked institutions, and he put up pictures of the receipts. Because of the pain after surgery, was given 4 tablets, 2 Panadine and 2 Cataflam. Later billings show Panadine cost $13.35 each. Cataflam cost $19.20 each. Received a prescription to purchase. At pharmacy, Panadine cost $3.13 each and Cataflam $8 each. Criminals not only toting guns. And you know why I have to share that? Because he shouldn't have had to go to West Shore Medical Center. We spend $5 billion a year on our healthcare sector. Whatever it is he had to have done, he should have been able to have it done in the General Hospital or the Mount Hope Hospital or the San Fernando Hospital or the Scarborough Hospital, but he couldn't. And Terence D'Alsing knew he was talking a crocus bag of ass when he told Halima's parents to take her to the closest medical center, because he knows that that is bullshit. He knows they don't even have Panadol or bandage or blood bottles. They can't help her. He knows that she needs emergency attention outside of Trinidad and Tobago, because our healthcare sector is failing, because it's been robbed blind by the same oligarchy and the same political parties of which he is a part.
Put them out of power, dominate your reign. Let's put our country together again. out. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the passing laws that them alone can flout. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the building eyesores, east, west, north and south. The same way you vote them in. Vote them out. Register and vote them out. Totally vote them out. State your finger and vote them out. Rescue the country. Vote them out. Vote them out with tempo. They happy and paid. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out with calypso and joyous refrain. Let's put our country together again. If their policy is a fallacy, bureaucracy, a catastrophe. If they cannot cope, and you see it so, then your only hope is for them to hope. If it is fabrication, these statements that they spout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is that frustration does make you want to shout, when you're voting,
Vote them out.
vote them out. Before they misuse out,
Keep out, sell out, and dig out.
Yes, that's how you vote them in. Vote them out. Register and vote them out. All of them, vote them out. State your finger and vote them out. Them on the system, vote them out. Vote them out in Scarborough and in Port of Spain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out in Komuto and in Laurabed. Let's put our country together again.
You get a call that your child in school and she get or he get beat up by a gang, or they get raped, or they get robbed, and you go into the school and you're trying to find out what's going on, and the teacher don't want to talk to you, and the principal has no time for you, and you go to the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Education tell you go to the police, and you go to the police, and the police say that it's not their business, talk to the Children's Authority, and you go to the Children's Authority, and the Children's Authority tell you they don't have the manpower, the money to deal with those things. And at some point in between all of that, you come to realize that nothing that you think that exists to protect your child, when it is not in your presence, under your control, when you realize and it dawns on you the danger that your child is in, and you have to sit down and look, how do I find some kind of private school to put this child in, become a child life in danger, and they have nobody to take care of that situation, and you realize how impossible your situation is, you will understand why we do this. And instead of holding your head on ball, join the PEP, because the Progressive Empowerment Party has plans, policies, programs, policies for everything that could solve all of that, make this entire nation functional again. But you're not going to get it playing dodge, bob, and weave.
People must come first, citizens by right. None of we are worse, yellow, black or white. Food, shelter and clothes, free movement and speech. A garden that grows, and one law for each. If it is that injustice is what they always show, you're voting, vote them more. Vote them more. If it is the avarice, is all they seem to know. When you're voting, vote them more. Vote them more. If it is the politics, it's just a puppy show. When elections day come, all Mondays must go. Register and vote them more. If they don't see, stain your finger and show them no mercy. Vote them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power, terminate their reign. Let's put our country together again.
Tonight, take action. Tonight, take massive action. Right now. If you are not a member of the party, send an email right now to peptrinbago@gmail.com. Stop what you're doing and send an email and say, I'd like to join. I'd like to help. I'd like to serve. I'd like to donate. I'd like to rescue my country. I'd like to work together with you all to make this a better country. Right now, send an email to peptrinbago@gmail.com. Write down this number, 347-4PEP. That's the hotline. You need further information. That's how to get in touch with us. We have an app, PEP app, PEP, APP. It's available at all the app stores, free to download. Get it? It's yours. It's free. PEP Radio is under construction right now, and that will be beta testing soon. If you would like to be on the list of people to beta test the PEP Radio, send a message to peptrinbago@gmail.com, and we will include you in the closed loop to test it when it's launching. PEPTT.com, PEPTT.com, that's our website. Feel free to avail yourself of it. Donate, join, peruse old videos. If you can't remember any of that and you want to link up with the party and get involved with anything at all, private message me on Facebook and I'll put you in touch with the people that you need to be in touch with. All you need to do is scroll this thread and you will see the amount of peppers that exist and take this thing seriously. It is 11:30 in the night on a Saturday night, and instead of them being out there drinking, partying, liming or sleeping, watching TV, they're here with me trying to help you come on board with us. So if what you want is a better Trinidad and Tobago, if what you want is a better nation, if what you want is a country that works, if what you want is to rescue the country, come on board with us now. If you're a Trinidadian and you're outside of Trinidad and Tobago, if you're in Toronto, reach out to Anil Maraj, Naz Gafur, Marissa Bash. If you're in Florida, Japon, Nathaniel, Carla Jean, Abigail Sinanan. If you're in New York City and environs, Ali G, she's head of all of the PEP overseas chapters. If you are anywhere in the world and you would like to start a PEP overseas chapter, reach out to Ali G. Felicio Holder, chairman. Sean Sunaran, vice chairman. He posts on Facebook as Trini Mamu, that is everybody uncle. He said that's what it means. We have people in this party that takes care of just about anything. If you would like to get involved in your constituency on the ground and would like to help build your constituency, Shari Wilson, reach out to Shari and she will bring you on board right away. The Progressive Empowerment Party is committed to a better Trinidad and Tobago. If that is what you want, help us do it. Until we get together again, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.